Yo, yo, Algebrainiacs! Welcome to the Johnson Kendra video
But it's
hour!
not an hour.
We'll see about that. Alright, some more vocab.
Got us into trouble yesterday with this, so I'm gonna do
Get
that.
that big red blob out of there.
Alright,
Alright.
first vocab word.
Range, we did this. It's the difference between greatest and the least. That's an easy one.
Alright, another review one.
Quartiles, values separating the four parts of data. So half of the half. Interquartile.
Yeah, so that's the difference. It's a range between the first and third quartiles. Take the third quartile, subtract the value of the second quartile.
First quartile.
Yes, sorry.
Box and whisker.
Yeah, so that's gonna be new for today.
It's not like your cat in its
Well, it is.
cage. Box and whiskers.
Oh, you're so funny.
Maybe that should be a name of a book written by a cat. Because it's got a plot. Anywho, let's keep going.
Uses the maximum, the minimum, its median, and the first and the third quartiles to display the spread in a data set. Your book and standardized test like to give you box and whisker plots of multiple data sets and have you make like statements about them.
Yes, so we need to learn them well.
Percentile, this one gets a little tricky because there's lots of disagreements in the math community.
Right. We're going to go with what the book says, so you can read up on it in the book if you need to. But when you get into future math classes in college or wherever, they may change the way they want you to round and things like that. So just keep that in mind in the future.
So percentile is a number from 0 to 100 that you can associate with a value from a data set. It shows the percent of data that are less than or equal to X.
Okay.
So, for instance, when you had kids, they measured your kids when you went to the doctor and they said, your child is in this
95th percentile was my oldest when she was born.
over height.
For height.
So
She
that
was
means
tall and skinny.
95% of the population was smaller than or the same as
Shorter
her.
than her, yeah.
Right.
Now she's not tall.
So it usually doesn't mean a whole lot. But, okay, so here is the box and whisker plot.
There they are. Gotta put a box around it. There
Okay.
we go.
I have just a general shape here, but this is a review. You guys have seen this in previous classes. This thing on the end of the whisker represents the minimum value.
Okay.
What about this thing?
I guess that'd be the maximum.
Yes, so that's going to show the total range of the data from here to here. What else?
Looks like we got a middle kind of thing there.
Yeah, this is the median. Also, that means 50% of the data is there and 50% of the data is here.
So the left 50% looks a little squished.
Yeah, so that means there must be more concentrated values.
Closer together down there.
What about this?
Ooh, it looks like kind of the halfway point of the bottom half.
So that is the lower quartile, also known as the first quartile. And then this is the,
Upper quartile.
yep, or the third quartile. And if you know the difference between these two, this is the interquartile.
Great. Nice. A lot of little lines on there we gotta keep track of.
I tried to color code.
You did.
Alright, so this is actually the same data set from yesterday. So it was given to us about the trees in the yard. I don't know what happened to that last one, but
Wow,
I
that's
couldn't get it to fix.
Funky little.
So remember, this could be turned into a longhand list. Bingo, done.
Woo, magical. You are quick.
Alright, so if you recall from yesterday, we found the median, didn't we?
Yep, that was 5.
Yeah, there are 19 things in here, so that means we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then there was the middle, and there were 9 more on the other side.
Okay.
We also then found the quartile, so this is the median. We looked at these 9 data values on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be the exact middle. Lower quartile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be the middle here. This is the upper quartile.
Okay.
This is the max. There's the min.
What's the interquartile
Range.
range?
Well,
Subtract
yeah, subtract the 6 and the 4 to
the
get.
cube from the L cube.
Yeah, to get 2. Alright, you need a number line. I did not number it here. I know I need to get all the way to 8. this thing?
Well, let's do the lower and upper. Those would be the box.
Okay, so lower quartile would be 4, and then upper quartile 6. So that's the box part of the box and whisker flat.
And I know the whiskers go down to the lowest and the highest.
What are we missing?
The median,
And that's at 5. I have a pretty crappy number line here, but it should be right in the middle.
that looks great.
This is a very symmetrical box and whisker plot. That is not always the case in the data.
Well, we have 3 on the left, 2 on the right.
Yeah.
It's not completely symmetrical, but it does look pretty close.
Sometimes they're like this,
Yeah,
you know.
kind of crazy.
So it really depends on the data. Just want you to know it could look a little different than what we have here.
One whisker may be way longer than the other.
Yeah, that poor cat.
Yeah, always getting caught in the door.
Yeah. One last concept on our video for today, and that is percentiles. So remember that we defined that as saying what percent of the data is the same as or less than the number that you're talking about.
Okay.
You must have your stuff in order. So remember we talked about some ordering things that would make your life easy.
Yep.
So we have some quizzes. You guys should go ahead and write those down. And then we'll go through these steps. So you have to have the data in order. You have
Your stem and leaf.
Yeah, that would be helpful if they don't get fit to you in order. You need to know how many total things in your data set.
Okay.
I think we have 22 Algebra 2 quiz scores.
Got it.
Okay, now there's 2 ways these questions could be asked. They could say, find the score at whatever percentile. So what you will do is find the percent of the total number, identify the rank, round to the nearest integer using traditional rounding rules, and identify the score at that place.
Okay.
You could go the other way though. They might tell you what value you're looking at and ask you what percentile it's at. So then you should work backwards. Identify the rank, figure out what percent of the total that is.
Nice.
Things do get a little tricky when there are repeated numbers. So as we mentioned earlier, there is a little bit of disagreement in the math community about how to handle that. We're going to follow what the book says, and they said just count the highest score or the last score.
So if you have a bunch of 22s, you count the last one for your calculation?
Yes.
Got
And we'll do a couple of those so you'll get to see. All right, so first question says, what score is at the 70th percentile? So first thing we need to do is take that 70 and turn it to a decimal, which would be?
0.7 times 22.
And why did you pick 22?
Because that's how many things there are.
Okay,
So
so
when you do that, you get about 15.
yeah, I think that's rounded, so 15. But again, that's not the number. That's telling us the rank.
15. Put a TH after that, maybe.
Yeah, so the 15th item, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is rank number 15, therefore the answer is the score, which is 45.
Got it.
Make sense?
Yes.
Cool. What percentile is 44? So now we know where we're looking. Well, we already know that's the 14th item, right? That's the 15th was right next to it.
So the 14th number out of 22.
Oh, we'll just do a fraction.
Nice.
We might need to do some rounding. I think it's,
About 64 rounded.
okay, so 64th percentile. So about 64% of the data is the same as or smaller than that. Scored worse on the quiz. Next, at what percentile is 22? So this is the tricky one.
Which one do we pick?
So we're going to follow what our textbook says, and we're going to find the highest rank or the last one listed. So we're counting that, 22, which is the third.
So 3 out of 22.
And as a decimal,
That's
and we will
about
round.
14.
Okay, so
14th.
14th percentile. Okay, nice. I think we have one more percentile to do.
50.
At what percentile is 50? Oh boy. There's a whole bunch of people that, we'll assume that this quiz was out of 50.
Okay.
A whole bunch of people got 100%. So which one are we going to look at
The
though?
last one
And that is the 22nd,
out of
22. So
The last
therefore,
one's always going to be 100.
yeah, the 100th percentile. Okay, I think I'm catching on to that. Last question. This is just a Review, do you think there are any outliers?
Yeah, I do.
What do you think?
See that poor little 5 there.
All right.
Needs a little extra help.
So we say yes, and we think it is 5. This one didn't do so hot on the quiz.
Alrighty.
That's it.
Good job, everybody. We'll see
Not
you
an hour.
later. Watching.